He's writing a journal now. He writes about dreams, his existence, and the knocking on the door. He writes of a long-dead race of beings worshipping an even more long-dead race of beings. He looks at his hands and thinks they are not his. He thinks thoughts he's never had before. He thinks he might be going insane. The knocking on the door stops. It is the first time in days he has had silence. He's frightened. He crawls into his bed. He thinks his legs are not his. He tries to sleep, but he thinks his skin is not his. He crawls onto the floor and crawls his way onto the chair. He writes down what he sees, but not all of it. He fears the paper he writes on will be afraid of what he has really seen. The knocking on the door comes back. He holds his head in his hands and he thinks the knocking is getting louder. He falls from the chair onto the floor. He thinks the knocking has gotten louder. He crawls over to the door, his arms that he believes are not his, desperately reaching for a doorknob he believes is out of reach. His legs that he thinks are not his try to force him to stand. His legs almost convince the rest of his body he thinks isn't his to stand, but they give away. He collapses onto the floor. He's on the floor with a body he thinks isn't his, the arms which he thinks don't belong to him, holding the head he thinks is foreign. Tears that he thinks don't belong to him run down his face. The body that he thinks he doesn't belong in passes out. The door opens.